What's happening, guys? Hey, Cody coming back at you live and in color. Guys, in real life, it's been about 2 weeks since I floated on the lake. I've been sick as a dog, guys. And in that time, I had some thoughts, and I thought, well, if I was getting back to crappie fishing, what would my rigs be? What would be the top 4 or 5 rigs that I would suggest to bring to the lake to get started trying to find crappie if you were hitting the water this weekend, guys? Stick around. We're gonna go over the top rigs to use to catch slab crappie. All right, guys, that's right. I'm gonna go over my favorite rigs, the top 5 that I think you should bring to the lake if you're getting into crappie fishing. So the first rig, we're gonna start off very simple. Something anyone can get their hands on, something big box stores carry. First things first, we're gonna go with the 1/8 ounce jig head, guys. Now, this is a Dan's jig head with the keeper. I like this jig because it's just reliable. It holds onto the jig body very well. And it's super sturdy. They're super sharp. I have had success with them non-stop. So, but any 1/8 ounce jig head will work. Any jig head will work. 1/8 ounce is just my preferred. You can do 1/8, 16th, quarter, whatever you want. All right. Now, in addition to that, we have our purple. In addition to that, we have our body. Now, for the lake that we fish, I prefer to use purple. Purple works the best. So purple is one that you'll see me use all the time. Purple with a chartreuse tail. Now, above our 1/8 ounce jig head and our purple body here, we have 2 split shots. Now, split shots are these pinch weights. I use number 4 split shots the most. Number 4s and number 7s are the ones that you'll see on the channel the most. I personally use 4s the most. That's what they look like, guys. And so that's setup number 1. Super simple setup. Guys, what I do is I tie that 1/8 ounce jig head on there, and about 8 to 10 inches above that, I go with double. Because I'm fishing 20 foot of water, I'll go with a double split shot. Sometimes I do a single. Either way, it doesn't matter. So first drop we're gonna do is right here, right in front of the boat. So we're gonna drop out to this brush pile right here, guys. And I'm gonna cast past it. You can see me falling down on it. And what I'm gonna do is cast past it and drag over it. Now this technique, guys, this technique is called the pendulum. All right, so this technique you see us use all the time on the channel. I love the pendulum because I think what it does is it keeps that motion of that jig in, it keeps the tail of the jig in motion and gives it that like-life appearance. There we go, guys. And then fish, they just come across the pile and they can't stand it, guys. I'm telling you right now, that technique has put more fish in this boat then I can shake a stick out. Now, guys, today I'm gonna show you how to make all these rigs, and I'm gonna show you how to fish them. So there you go. That's 1/8 ounce jig head with a soft plastic body. Guys, we're gonna catch a couple more. That was the pendulum technique, so let's get him back on the water. Whee! And guys, y'all know, if we use the scope, they don't stay in the boat. So that was the pendulum technique. So now let's go. I'm gonna do what's called the dead stick. So with the dead stick, I'm gonna drop over the pile like that. See my jig, I stopped it. I'm gonna drop it down, drop it down, drop it down. Guys, I'm just gonna hang out right over the pile. All I'm gonna do is hang my jig over the pile. There we go, guys. And you see that rod tip, guys? That rod tip just took off because that fish was very interested in it. So let's drop back down into the pile. And guys, I'm just gonna hold it right here. And when I'm dead sticking, what I like to do is just tap the rod tip just to give it a little bit of movement. That's all I want to do is give it just a little bit of movement like that. And the benefits to dead sticking, guys, is you can pick and choose. You can kind of drop that jig into different places where you see fish or you think the fish are at. And that's what I love to do when I'm doing the dead stick. These 2 techniques, the pendulum and the dead stick, they have their applications and certain times of the year, but mostly you can use them at all times, guys. That's typically a pretty solid go-to plan, is either using the pendulum or using the dead stick method. Like I have one looking at me right now. So what I'm gonna do is slowly just kind of come up, and he pulled off. So let's recast and see how he does with the second drop. Oh, almost got capsized there. All right, guys, let's go back down there. Now, like I was saying, this is the pendulum, or I'm sorry, this is the dead stick technique. So I'm just gonna drop right over the pile, and I'm gonna let the pole do the work. I'm gonna let the pole and the eagerness of the fish do the work. So just gonna hang it out right there. And this technique doesn't always work, guys. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you gotta coerce them, and you gotta get that motion in that tail, and that's why you see me going back to the pendulum a lot. So let's see the pendulum again. So again, with the pendulum, we're casting past the pile, and we're gonna drag it through the pile. So here we go. So let's see if I can get this all on film for y'all. Here we go. So we're gonna come across the pile, Let me angle y'all down so you can watch. Here we go. I'm gonna come up to the pile. There's my jig right there. And I'm gonna come across. And I'm just gonna come through the pile, guys. Don't overthink it. Just gonna kind of come through it. I want to dodge these sticks. Kind of go over that one. I don't think I'm gonna get stuck on that one, so I'm gonna go down into the pile there, and I'm gonna kind of change into a dead stick and just kind of let it hang there for a second. And there we go. I popped it, and you saw that fish. He'd come out of that pile, and he hit it. So that was kind of both, honestly. That was it was a pendulum with a dead stick in it. So I came to the middle of the pile, and then I stopped. Woo! And then I let him eat it up. So, guys, I really want to catch one just straight dead stick though. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's cast out there, and I'm just gonna drop on the pile. I'm trying to let y'all get this POV of the screen the whole time I'm doing this. So I'm gonna give y'all the look. So we stopped over the pile just like this, and I'm just gonna hold it. And again, guys, I'm gonna pop that rod tip every now and again. So what I mean by that is, oop, hold on, I got a fish looking at me. Got a fish looking. So what I mean by that is I'm just gonna pop that rod tip. Oh, he hit it finally. I'm just gonna take that rod tip like this, guys. I'm gonna give it just a little tap. And what that does, guys, it gets that jig and it gets it in motion. It just gives that little jig down there a little bit of motion. And guys, I have a video explaining everything that I'm saying here. I'll link it down in the description box below, and it goes over all of the different techniques and how to use each technique and what they look like from a fish's point of view. So I'm gonna pull up on the pile. I wasn't as over the pile as I wanted to be, so I'm going to pull up to the pile, guys, and I'm going to drop back down on it right here. So now we have, I'm using my I'm using my 8'2" Outlaw crappie pole, so I need to be within 8 foot of that pile. So now I am. So now I can just hang it, and I'm all in that pile, guys. So see my jig? I'm gonna bring it up so y'all can see it right there. Right there's my jig at that 8 foot mark. And again, the pole's 8 foot long, so we have an 8 foot standoff. And again, that doesn't mean you're gonna catch fish every single time, but what it does mean is you're gonna be in their strike zone every single time. So here we go, I'm gonna hang down. There we go, guys. Just hanging it, just hanging it. This one feels good. This one, yeah, it's a donkey. That's a fatty, baby. That's a fatty. Oh, look at that donkey. Look at that donkey. Oh man, that's beautiful, guys. And that is how you use an 1/8 ounce jig head and a soft plastic body, guys. Let's jump to option number 2. I'm gonna take some pictures of this guy. I'm gonna jump to rig number 2 and show y'all how to fish it, guys, and see if we can't pick some more off of this pile with a different presentation. All right, guys, all right. We are back with rig numero dos, number 2, guys, number 2. All right, number 2, we're gonna have to go with hand-tied jigs, okay? Now, listen, everyone's got their favorite hand tieds, everyone has their favorite colors, everyone has their favorite things. The ones that work best for me are a white and chartreuse, which I'm actually out of right now. I actually just reordered some, and this gray ghost looking color. Guys, these 2 colors, and I use the same thing, 1/8 ounce, and I like this tooth head, pill head, whatever your dealer calls it, this pill head look. They're my favorite. Guys, I try to go, when I use a hand-tied jig, I try to go with a small profile. Some of these jigs, some of these jig makers, they make really long and elaborate jig bodies, and then the tails come out. Now, I know you can trim the tails down with scissors. I understand that, but I like a small profile. I'm just a pretty small profile fisherman. I think that the smaller the body is, usually the better you do, especially these late summertime fish that have kind of seen it all summer, guys. They've just seen it nonstop. So I like the smaller profile. This one I would give it probably, what is that, maybe just over an inch and a half. You may call it 1.5 inches. I don't think it's quite there, but it's a smaller profile. I think they have it listed as 1.5 inches. And guys, don't forget, on hand tied, you can always trim that tail, guys. You can always take that tail right there, and you can take a pair of scissors and just cut it off a little bit if you're not happy with the profile. But I like the profile that it is on these specific ones, and that's just the ones that I like. Switched over to my 10-foot Pro SE Outlaw crappie pole. All right, guys, let's go ahead. We're gonna do a little bit of pendulum, a little bit of dead sticking again, guys. Again, the 2 techniques that I find are the most reactive for summertime crappie bites. Now, as you move into later in the year, and as the temperatures get colder, you can slow that bait down a lot and the dead stick works a lot more. But right now, guys, they're still fired up. They're still very interested in eating. See that hit? They're still very interested in eating, and they're still interested in the chase. So there you go. That pendulum definitely worked. There we go. Picked him up on the second one, guys. Bucket mouth, guys. Another bucket mouth. So this is, oh, come on, come on, come on back. Come on back, Bubba. Come on back. So there you go, guys. Hand tied pill head, sorry, jig in the roof of the mouth. Putting on a show, guys. Picking up absolute bangers of fish. Guys, that is a eater all day long. That would make any skillet happy. So let's get him back in the water, guys. Now, let's drop it down. Let's just purely dead stick. Now, I have this 10-foot pole now, so I have a little bit more reach on my depth here. So you can see my jig falling into the pile right there, guys. And I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna get to depth. And guys, I'm just gonna stand here and just kind of pop my jig head around. I'm not gonna do much anything else. I'm just gonna let it sit here. And like I've said before, I don't know if it's frustration. I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's just straight get out of my living room. But these fish, they just feel that pressure, guys. They just sit there whenever you have that dead stick on them, and they whammy it most of the time. So let's just sit here and see what happens. And like I said, every now and then I'll give that rod tip a little pop, you know, just to give that jig a little bit of motion, a little bit of transfer of action there, just to see if I can't trigger a nice reactionary bite out of any fish that are down there. So let's see what we can do here. And guys, with time comes the ability to drop these things down into these thick trees and stuff and not get stuck. Guys, when I first started, you wouldn't catch me doing this. You wouldn't catch me doing this. I would lose a jig so fast in a tree, but as I've gone out and as I've been, as the bites have been more prolific, as I've gotten more skill and more practice as I've gone along, you learn how to be able to drop this jig, and you kind of learn what you're seeing on the screen, and you kind of learning how to navigate what you see on the screen. And inversely, you start to save money by not getting stuck in trees and stuff all the time. You kind of figure out what you can and can't go through. Guys, air temperature today, it's a scorcher, man. We hop back up. We're sitting at like 95, 97 degrees right now. A little 2-mile-an-hour wind. Guys, the lake is beautiful. Look at it. I mean, it's perfect. I'm out here catching a nice sunburn, you know, hanging out, trying to get these fish on. Like I said, these fish have been getting hammered all summer long, so I wanted to teach y'all just some techniques that you can get out to your local waters with and use to feed the family, to get some fish, and you know, and enjoy the delicacies that is crappie. So see that, guys? Oh, still counts. Got it on this camera. Y'all saw it fly and flop. Hey, still counts, guys. That's all it took, guys. I was just dead sticking it, hanging out on the pile, and then wham, picked one up. I'm gonna pick one more up, guys, and we might move spots for this next technique. Oh, I had one hit it on the fall. Let's try it again. Ooh, they're deep. They're down here in the deep at the bottom of this tree. So they're down there hanging out at the bottom. My jig is somewhere in there. And guys, I don't always see my jig. Guys. I just know that it's down there, and that's good enough for me. So let me see. I might break this one off. Please don't break off. Please don't break off. We broke off, guys. All right, let's move to the next spot and pick y'all up and talk about rig number 3. Okay, actually, before I leave, I retied. I want to show y'all another variation. This is one of them bigger weights that I have. I'll put the size of it in the box here. Sometimes you'll see me use this chungus of a weight. Guys, it's a big one. All right, I think it's like a number 2 maybe, or I don't know. It's huge and it's heavy. So what I like to do is sometimes instead of using 2 weights, I'll just use this one. And I'm on biting fish, guys. So let's just drop it down again just to see. Now, a bigger weight like this helps with the sonar return, so you're definitely going to see it a lot easier. Ooh, in the sonar cone, it picks up absolute donkeys. I mean, look at that. You know, I mean, it don't get much bigger than that, guys. I mean, golly, you kidding me? That's everything. That's what we're here for right there, guys. Oh, man. All right, let's get this little fella off of here. I don't want to hurt him. There we go. So let's put this big whopper back and let's see if we can do it again. But anyway, that bigger weight will give you a denser sonar signal so that on the scope, the return comes back even brighter. It's just a trick that I use sometimes to keep the jig bright and to where I can see it, guys. Let's not turn a blind eye that it gets that jig down there like twice as fast. So, all right, here we go, guys. Just kind of hanging it in here. I'm trying to pick up like 2 or 3 and then leave it alone. All right, they aren't digging the dead stick for right now. So let's do a little bit of pendulum action, guys. Piles at 10 feet, so I'm gonna cast out to about 14 to 16, guys. And I see some fish at the bottom down there, so let's dangle it in their face too. We don't, you know, we're an equal opportunity fisher here. We catch every size fish that we can. And again, I'm just gonna go over the structure. There we go, guys. Go over the structure. And that backside slabby Patty decided he wanted to park it like it was hot, son. Oh man, so there you go. All right, let's switch over to rig number 3. And I chose to do this one in the 3rd spot on purpose. So also, guys, if you don't have a pair of, they're called mosquitoes in the medical world. I don't know what the actual name is, but tweezers maybe? I don't know. They're these forceps. That's what they're called. If you're a nurse, get with a nurse friend, and they're called forceps. My buddy Cody, who you've seen on the channel before, he was a nurse. He hooked it up with those. So let's go to rig number 3. Y'all don't move. All right, guys, so rig number 3. It's one I've been using recently. It's a newer one to the channel. It's a newer one to me too. It's one that I like it a lot. So I just learned that it's called tight lining a minnow. So guys, what you want to do is get yourself a number 2 Aberdeen hook, guys. See that? It's bigger than you think it is. I don't know how to make it. I know cameras make everything look smaller, but that minnow that hook it's bigger than you think it is. It's a number 2. Let me show you real quick, actually. I have the package right here. So it's this package right here. You can screenshot it, or you can click the link in the description box below to my Amazon store, and it is in there, guys. So that number 2 hook, and then about 6 to 8 inches above that, I have those big Chungus number 2 split shots. So 2 and 2 should be pretty easy, or a double eye, or whatever. You know, just it's a huge chunk of lead. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna fish it kind of like a bobber, but we're gonna cast down and just kind of drag that minnow through there, popping it, and hopefully we'll hook one up. But let me show you how to hook up these minnows. So I got my minnows tucked away here because it's so hot. I went and picked up a couple dozen of them, looking healthy. So we're just gonna grab one here. And guys, sometimes they'll eat dead minnows. Sometimes they won't, so we're always going to start with live ones. These jokers are slimy today. We're going to start with these minnows. And guys, if you've been around the channel long enough, you know that me and 903 Fishing, old Caleb, we've done several videos together. I'm actually about to fish his next tournament. This is his way to hook a minnow. It's by far the best one that I've found. But anyway, we're going to go through the mouth. If he'll open his mouth for us. There we go. We'll go through the mouth, out the gills. We've not penetrated the fish yet. We'll come across. We'll come through his backside right here. See that? So that minnow is still alive and ready to work, guys. That minnow is still doing just fine, which is what we want. So now we're gonna cast it out. I've switched to my 8'2" Outlaw crappie pole. And guys, we're gonna drop down to this pile. I'm gonna stop it above it and fish it kind of like a jig. And then I'm just gonna kind of let that minnow kind of swim around and just entice those fish. And when you feel the thump, you know what it is. You know what time it is. We've drifted off this pile a little bit, so we need to go up and right. So let's readjust here, and then we're gonna cast out again. I actually have one following me. That's okay. This one I find is better to use in a dead stick manner. So if you can get over the pile, that's fantastic. So here we go, we're dropping down over the pile. Like I said, we're using our 8'2" Outlaw crappie pole. So we've got 8 foot of straight reach. And guys, I'm just gonna go down. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the pile. I haven't really hit the bottom of the pile too much. So there we go, I'm gonna go to the bottom of the pile. And guys, I'm gonna let that minnow just kind of hang out. Let it pop around. You know, they know what a live minnow is. Oh, I had one hit it. He wasn't sure. Let's go back in there. And again, I'm dead sticking it because that minnow's swimming around doing all the movement he needs to do. But I'm still gonna pop the minnow every now and again, guys. I'm still gonna pop it, let them know that, hey, it's still here. You can still bite it. Let's go down deep. Let's go down the bottom of the pile here. All right. Maybe they stripped us. Let's see what we're looking. Nope. See, the minnow's still on there, but you can definitely tell he's been hit. But he's still alive, still moving. His gills are still flapping. Is what I'm talking about. All right. Let's cast it back out there. So typically, what I'll do, guys, is once fish get pressured, you know, like we've just caught 4 or 5 or 6, how many we caught. When they start to get pressured, is when I'll switch to this rig right here, because it's live bait. You know, you can't mistake live bait. It's an actual, you know, what they naturally eat. And it's just something that I've always found success with. All right, here we go. And it helps with those pressured fish. Helps. Doesn't mean that it's gonna always work, but there we go, guys. Bam. This is how you know the pile's starting to get wore out, because we're starting to experience these littler fish. But look at that, guys. The way that you hook that minnow, it's still usable. Oh. Release. All right, let's go back down there again. Again, you're getting multiple uses out of the minnow. That is the benefit to hooking it like this. And again, guys, I just learned this is called tight lining a minnow. So here we go, going back down. I'm gonna go back on that backside over there. And there we go, on the drop, guys, on the drop, on the drop, on the drop. There we go, there we go. That's a dinner plate. That's a dinner plate, son. That's an eater. Are you kidding me? That's a nice one. Right in the roof of the mouth, guys. Look at that. Right in the roof of the mouth. That's how you know he wanted it. And we have our mosquitoes here, so we're gonna whoop, pop it out. Guys, that's what they wanted. And look, that was 2 fish, 1 minnow, guys. 2 fish, 1 minnow. And a matter of fact, if I do this right, we'll probably be able to slide another fish through. Let's see. Let's see. Get it kind of fixed up here. Wham! Come on. I think if I get it turned just right. There we go, guys. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to throw it back down there again. I guarantee you we're going to get a 3rd fish with 1 minnow. So, great rig for pressured fish. Saves you money and multiple uses. Come on, what's better than that, guys? Drop in the comment section below. Let me know. What's better than that? Oh, I got stuck on a branch. As I was dropping it, it hit the branch, so we don't want that. Let's go back out there, guys. All right, we hit these backside fish. These backside fish are still fired up. I had a guy comment and ask, you know, when you put fish back in the lake consistently like this, as you're catching them, does the pile get wore out? Does it turn off? The answer is yes, absolutely. Absolutely it does. And that's why we have different techniques, different presentations, different colors that we use, guys, because of that exact reason. A little far back. I'm gonna push forward a little bit more. I just like this backside fishery a little bit more. These backside fish, guys, they just look like they're wanting to play ball a little bit more than these front side fish. So here we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, he spit it. He spit it. Do we count it? Do we count it? Let me know in the comment section. Do we count that one? He cleaned it out. Let's get another minnow hooked. Let's get another minnow hooked up. All right, guys, we're repositioned. We're dropping rig number 3 down. Let's try it. Now, again, rig number 3 is just a number 2 Aberdeen hook, split shot above it with a live minnow, guys. That's all it is. Some of y'all know it as tight lining a minnow. That's what we're gonna stick with. Oh, he nibbled on it. I have found that when you use this method, the bite is definitely lighter. You got to be paying attention because the bite is definitely not as pronounced as when they hammer a jig that's swimming by them. So here we go. Oh, he's looking at it. He's looking at it. We just need that commitment from him. Looking at it. Come on, baby. There we go. Ah! Dang it. One more time, and then we're gonna go over and we're gonna use technique number 4. So here we go. Dropping down, dropping down, dropping down. Guys, I should note, it's the end of the day. This is also an afternoon fish. Normally I fish in the morning. This is a end of the day. I got done with my work stuff early. And I said, you know what? The people need me. And like I said, I've been out of work for I've been sick for like 2 weeks. It's been zero fun. Here we go, pop that minnow, watch this. They can't stand that pop, guys. They can't stand that pop. They can't stand that pop. They can't stand that pop, son. You send that minnow down there, you get it to twerking. They can't stand it, son. They can't stand that. Ah. All right, guys. So that is technique number 3, tight lining a minnow. And again, number 2, Aberdeen hook. Number, I believe, 2, split shot. And again, all of this is linked in my Amazon store below. So that said, this pile is pretty wore out, guys. We've caught all the fish so far in this video of this one pile. So I'm gonna toss this minnow in, chum the water a little bit. We're gonna shoot across the lake, and we're gonna talk about technique number 4. So y'all stick around. All right, guys, spot number 2, rig number 4. Guys, we're gonna take it a little bit traditional, if you will. So this is going to be, rig number 4 is none other than the weighted slip cork. That's right, guys. So how you set it up is you have a bobber stop on your line, you have your identification bead, your stop bead, you have your slip cork that goes up and down and up and down. Now here's where the weighted part comes in. I have a number 2 weighted swivel. Guys, the only place I know where to get this exact swivel is on Amazon, and it's linked in my Amazon store below. I'm not just trying to shove y'all to it. That's really the only place I can find it. But it's a number 2 weighted swivel, and then below that is a 6 or 8 inch leader with 10-pound test, and then that number 2 Aberdeen hook, guys. This is rig number 4, the weighted slip cork rig. Let's hook up a minnow and drop it down on these fish's heads. Reach in here and grab me an old minnow. Old minnow, as KG likes to say. All right, through the mouth, out the side of the gills, across the back, across the pink, bing, bang, boom. Now, guys, this pile is in 18 foot of water, but look, I want to fish that 14-foot range. Now, this is my 7'2" outlaw crappie pole. So how do we set the depth, guys? So what I want to do is I want to grab my line, right? Now this pole is 7 foot long. So I put that hook right there, we're about 7 foot deep, guys. So what I want to do now is find my bobber stop, which is right there. I want to slide it to that first eyelet. Bada bing, bada boom, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the line out until I see that bobber stop. There's that bobber stop right there. And as soon as that bobber stop is even with my pole again, the bottom of my pole, I'm going to grab that bobber stop and I'm going to bring it up and up and all the way back up to my first eyelet. Now I know, you don't typically use a bobber in 18 foot of water, but given the time of year, I at least want to show you this rig so that you can be ready when these fish move shallow and move in for their spawning grounds, guys. That's what I'm interested in. All right, so our minnow's on. The pile is actually, it's right here. So we're gonna drop down and see. I don't see much on this pile, but you never know. There could be the 1 or 2 chunguses that are hungry and want to hit. So we'll let it hang out right there. Guys, I really don't think we're in the best spot. Let me re-reel that. Let me drop that back down there. I see a couple on the back side, so I'm gonna cast out past it. We'll let all that weight and everything kind of sink, guys. You can see it. And that is the benefit to that weighted swivel. That weighted swivel will get that rig down there, guys. And now look, we're in the strike zone, son. So I'm gonna come out here to this bobber, and guys, when that bobber decides it wants to go under, guys, guess what we're gonna do? Set the hook. So we're just watching that bobber, and every now and then you may have to pop that lure, pop that jig, get those fish to re-look at it. Actually, I feel like we need to back off of this pile just a little bit. So I'm gonna reel it back up. I'm gonna reel it up, guys, and we're gonna recast. Oh, I got up here way faster. But guys, that's the benefit to that weighted swivel. So all right, let's pitch it back out there. So that pile's at about 10 foot. So I'm gonna cast it out there. Again, I cast it past the pile. Let's see where we're at here. You can see I cast it past the pile. It's falling right down at 20-foot mark. And I'm gonna go until that bobber stop makes it stop, which it just did. And then guys, I'm just gonna watch it. I think we're still a little bit too short. I think we need to be deeper than that. We're gonna watch it. You know, you never know. These fish, they get antsy, dude. They'll come up out of the depths and hammer these these bobbers, I mean, you can see that minnow is swimming its butt off, guys, which is, that's good news for us, guys. But we're a little bit too shallow. I think it got caught on my first eyelet. So what I'm gonna do is take my bobber stop, because I'm too shallow. I wanna bring it up about 4 feet. And then I'm gonna reel back down onto it, guys. And we're gonna see if we can't connect with one in this deeper water. So that's one problem, is that little bead sometimes gets stuck. All right, so 12 foot out, guys, we're gonna pitch it out there. And again, this weighted swivel is like key to this rig, that and being able to pitch it out there. So we're gonna go farther than we normally do. Just let it sink, guys. We're just letting it fall. That's all we're doing, guys. We're just letting it fall, letting it get down deep. There we go. So we're at the zone depth that we want to be in. So we're just gonna watch that bobber, guys. If that bobber disappears, if that bobber goes under, guys, it's easy. Just like that. Oh, we got something hit it right there. But when that bobber sinks, when that bobber falls over, when that bobber starts to swim into the current, we know it's game time. I actually think we might be a little too deep now. So let's grab our bobber stopper, and we're gonna bring it down half the distance that we just put up on it. There we go, so about right there. There we go. Now I'm gonna cast it out again. Now the thing with spot lock is you got about a 6 foot radius that you fish in. Now this is why it's tricky to use this rig in deeper waters this time of year, because the current and the wind are both going against you. So you're gonna have to really overcast it. That way it falls where it needs to fall into these piles. So there we go. Drop it down in there. I think we should be kind of right where we need to be, honestly. And let's just watch that minnow there. And every now and again I'll pop it, I'll move it around, you know, I'll give it a little bit of motion. And then when that joker goes under, like that, guys, just like that. When that joker goes under, oh baby, look at that fish, man. Absolute tank. And it had the lightest bite, guys. All it bobber did, it didn't just snap under, it just slowly went under. And guys, look at that tank right there, guys, man. Oh man, what a freaking tank that is, guys. Let's get a couple of pictures of this chungus here. Let's get a couple of pictures, guys. What a fish, what a fish, what a fish. Here, let me get my phone real quick. All right, guys, see, I got that one with the old classic bobber and minnow. Let's put him back in the water. Let's get on another one, guys. All right, guys, last rig. If you guessed a traditional slip cork, you are the winner. Bobber stop, bobber, pinch weights, number two Aberdeen hook with a minnow, guys. Last but not least is one of the most simple rigs, guys. I'm just trying to keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. I'm gonna drag it through this pile right here, guys. We're gonna end the day on hopefully some easy, nice, laid back fish. So let's see what happens as we drag it through this pile, guys. Switch over to my 10-foot Pro SE Outlaw crappie pole, guys. You know, I've been using Outlaw crappie poles for a while and I love them. They're great, they're rigid. The flex on them is awesome. They have a great backbone. There's a ton of benefits to using them. So that is why I personally use them. Oh, there we go, guys. There we go. I think that's a bass. Nope, that's just a fired up slab crappie. Man, look at that joker. I'm telling you, Old Faithful, you know, don't forget your roots. Man, that's awesome. Don't forget your roots, guys. Nice slab off of that pile, guys. Let me get a couple pictures of this joker. All right, guys, got my pictures. That's what I'm saying, guys. Don't forget your roots. Oh, shoot, guys, I had another one. I had another one. This pole was just sitting on the edge. Let's see. Let's just watch this bobber, guys. If that joker goes under, then we, right there. Didn't take much. Oh, that's a donkey. Didn't take much, guys. Oh, ooh wee. Oh, right in the roof of the mouth too. Another donkey, guys. Another donkey off the standard, just traditional setup, guys. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this one back in the water here. Let's go. Let's watch it get back in here. Let's watch it go. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for being a part of the video. Ooh. Didn't like that. She did not like that I was touching her, guys. Oh man. Anyway, guys, I hope that y'all pick something up today. Those are the top 5 rigs that I would use if I was to set out on a new body of water, or if I was just getting into crappie fishing, guys. Those are my top 5 in no particular order, guys. Again, everything you saw in the video you can pick up at my Amazon store, link down in the description box below. Don't feel obligated. I just want you to have a source that you can either just go research or purchase the stuff if you'd like. Shout out to Native Angler Apparel for keeping us covered all day, and shout out to Outlaw Crappie Poles for deck flipping every fish in the videos that you watch every week that we bring to you guys. Check them out, fishoutlaw.com. Guys, if you like this video, I think you'll enjoy this one, and we will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.